I grew up knowing who Jesus was, but not really having a relationship with him. And so, once we went to church on Sundays, the only thing that happened was we would go home and forget about it. We wouldn't talk about it. We wouldn't do anything with it. And so I grew up that way. And then once I got into middle school and high school, I really started struggling with anxiety and depression. Ended up recognizing once I got to college that I had a lot of hurt and anger with God and who I thought that he was. So when I got to high school, anxiety and depression was just running my life. And so, I just was trying to find my identity in things other than Christ at that point in time, because I didn't know that he was going to fill me in the ways that he has. Relationships were a huge way that I was trying to find my identity in high school. And so I was in sexually impure relationships in high school, and I was really just seeking out attention from guys in any way that I could. And so that ended up leading to very verbally abusive relationships, and even some physically abusive relationships as well, which just was super hard to deal with as a high schooler, because I just wanted to be seen, I wanted to be loved, and all I knew about love was what the world had told me of it. And so, I just really struggled with that throughout high school, and that just continued on until I went to college. So after high school ended, I was super excited to come to college and just find myself like everyone is, and just get away from my parents and get away from those people in my hometown. But when I got to college, I got in another impure relationship, and I started building a life with this guy that I thought was going to be my everything. We planned our future. I was living at his house. I distanced myself from all my friends at UNI, and there was just a lot of brokenness in that relationship looking back on it. I was finding my worth in the things that he was telling me and that we were doing. It was just super impure. That's the only thing I can say about it. It was just super broken. And honestly, it left me searching for more. In the moment, the sex and the things that we were doing would be satisfying, but then I would leave empty. I just realized that I couldn't live that life anymore. And so in April, a couple years ago, I was driving to this guy's house, and I cheated on him the weekend before, and so I knew that he was gonna break up with me. And the only thoughts that were running through my head was, what am I gonna do? Because this is the last good thing that I have. My life is gonna be in shambles without him, because I'd built my future with him. And so as I was just driving to his house, something just overcame me, which now I know is the Holy Spirit. But the Lord had been actively pursuing my heart before then. And so when I was driving to this guy's house that April night, the Lord just grabbed onto my heart and just showed that he had been pursuing me that whole time. And I just had to pull over, and I just started weeping and was crying, and I just cried out and was like, God, this is gonna be the worst thing that ever happens to me in this season of my life, but you are better. I can't do this anymore. When I think about what the gospel is doing in me when I first accepted Christ, I just was so passionate about learning more about him through the word. And I think the thing that clicked for me at that point in time was that I didn't have to do anything to satisfy him. I didn't have to do anything to be called his daughter. That was just what I received from when he died on the cross for my sins. And that was just so freeing. It was so freeing to recognize that I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to I didn't have to do anything. He just wanted to love me because I was his daughter. He looked at me and called me beautiful, which was something I always wanted from guys. And I just didn't have to do anything to get that from Christ. And so I think that was the biggest thing that clicked for me, is that in this world, nothing can truly satisfy. our souls other than Christ's love. And so just being able to be free in that. And like I said, I still struggle with that today, but it's so freeing being able to open the word and just like see the truths that God says about me and remind myself of those when I don't believe them or when the world tells me otherwise. So I think that's kind of what clicked.